Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. James, and today I want to talk about a sensitive topic that affects many older individuals but is rarely discussed openly. It's something that has likely impacted you or someone you know, the smell of old age. It's a subject that can be uncomfortable to bring up, but it's important to understand because it affects the way people around you may perceive you, even if you don't notice it yourself. Let me start by sharing a story. Nancy Miller, a loving grandmother, was heartbroken when her young grandson innocently asked her, "Grandma, why do you smell funny?" To make it sound less harsh, her mother quickly stepped in and said, "Oh, it's just Grandma's natural smell." But Nancy, who had always taken pride in maintaining a clean and organized home, felt devastated. After that moment, her grandson no longer wanted to sit on her lap or even hug her. Whenever she would ask for a hug, he would cover his nose. This hurt her deeply. That night she went to bed, hid under the blankets and cried. She felt embarrassed, ashamed, and unsure of what to do. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. James, and I'm 77 years old. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with over 10,000 senior citizens. Many of them have experienced this very issue, and it's something I want to address with you today. Have you ever noticed that the seat next to you on the bus gets left vacant, or that your grandkids seem hesitant to approach you? Maybe you've caught your daughter-in-law opening a window when you're in the room, or you've noticed people subtly shifting away from you when you're together. If any of this sounds familiar, then I encourage you to stick with me, because I'm about to explain the science behind this issue and provide you with a simple, proven solution that can help. So stay tuned until the end. You won't want to miss this. You see, there's something called the smell of old age, and it's more common than you might think. I'm not talking about body odor, but a distinct scent that can develop as we get older. It's a reality that many older adults face, and it can be uncomfortable to talk about. But here's the thing. 99% of people over the age of 60 don't even realize they have this scent. Meanwhile, everyone else around them can detect it. The sad truth is that most family members are either too polite or too embarrassed to mention it. This leaves the elderly person unaware and, in many cases, feeling isolated or rejected. Take George Jefferson Carter, for example. One day, he overheard his son's friend say, "Wow, this old smell here is intense." He was shocked because he had always kept his house spotless. It broke his heart, and when his grandkids came to visit, he started hiding in his room to avoid the embarrassment. He was so self-conscious about the smell that he would isolate himself from the family to avoid being humiliated. So, what causes this phenomenon? It's a complex process, but scientific research has identified some specific changes in our bodies that contribute to this scent. As we age, our bodies undergo natural changes that affect our skin, sweat, and overall scent. Though it's a normal part of getting older, it doesn't mean you have to accept it. There are steps you can take to reduce or even eliminate it. I want to share the story of Betty Davis, a 65-year-old woman who came to me in tears. She said, "Dr. Henry, my grandson no longer wants to sit on my lap. What can I do?" She felt rejected and heartbroken. After years of helping senior patients, I've discovered a simple solution that can make a huge difference. It's a strategy that's helped over 1,000 of my patients feel more connected to their families. In fact, if you focus on 2 key areas while bathing, you can eliminate up to 90% of that old person scent in just 3 minutes. Stay with me, and I'll walk you through it. Before we dive into that, though, let me explain why perfumes and colognes aren't the solution. Frank Wilson, an 88-year-old man, once told me, "Dr. Henry, I use the most expensive cologne, but my son still runs out of the room and opens the window wide when I'm there." It hurt him deeply, and I had to be honest with him. "Frank, cologne won't fix the problem. It's like putting perfume on a wet sock. It might cover up the smell a little, but it doesn't eliminate the source. Many older people try to mask the scent with deodorants or perfumes thinking it will help, but all it does is mix with the natural odor, making it worse. It turns into what people might call the old person smell plus flowers, and that's just as noticeable. To fix the underlying issue, we need to understand why it happens. It's not just about personal cleanliness, it's a result of the aging process. Our bodies undergo 3 major changes as we grow older, and these changes have a direct impact on our scent. I'm going to explain these changes in more detail, and I'll also share the simple, scientific approach to dealing with them. This method has helped thousands of people feel better and reconnect with their loved ones. If you've been struggling with this issue, you don't have to face it alone. Together, we can work through it. So, if you're ready to learn more about how to tackle this issue, stay tuned. I'm here to help you with practical advice and tips that really work. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on alerts to stay up to date with all my future recommendations. Let's get started. When you are younger, you sweat around 1 liter every day. This decreases as you become older. When a person reaches the age of 60, the rate at which they sweat often declines by more than half. Sweating is beneficial because it helps expel toxins via the skin. When you first look at it, you could think to yourself, "That's great. I don't sweat as much anymore." However, if you sweat less, they will leave more waste behind on your skin. Bacteria are fed by this excrement, which also generates smells. A number of individuals like Nancy Clark, who is 71 years old, have said to me, "I sweat less, which is why I smell bad." It is exactly for this reason that your body's natural cleansing mechanism is no longer operating at its maximum capability. Changes in the chemical makeup of sebum. Your skin naturally generates an oily material known as sebum, but beginning about the age of 50, the chemical composition of the sebum undergoes significant changes. The presence of a molecule known as 2-non-enol, which is primarily responsible for that scent that is typical of the past, starts to emerge. Over the course of more than 3 decades, I have been researching 2-non-enol, and I have seen that its levels rise as one gets closer to 60 years of age. Those that are younger do not have as many, which is why they do not smell the same. There is a considerable reduction in the amount of saliva that is produced in the mouth beyond the age of 60, often by a factor of 50% or more. The saliva in the mouth helps destroy germs and maintains a fresh mouth. When there is less saliva in the mouth, the atmosphere gets drier, which is ideal for the growth of bacteria that are responsible for unpleasant odors. Linda Harris, who is 69 years old, shared with me that she has a dry mouth and that she can smell her own breath. It makes me feel uncomfortable to have a conversation with my grandkids. When you talk, this dryness might contribute to an odor that is obvious to others. When these 3 aspects are taken into consideration, we start to comprehend why the conventional treatments, such as increasing the amount of perfume you use or washing your mouth out more rapidly, do not solve the underlying issue. However, there is some good news. Just by focusing on a few precise actions, you will be able to handle this issue in a natural and straightforward manner. What I refer to as the 3-minute shower trick is one of the remedies that is both the fastest and most successful when it comes to solving the problem. It will concentrate on 2 or 3 particular locations, which are the origin of 90% of the smells associated with old age. If you fail to do so, you will continue to squander time by relying on solutions that are just temporary. I guarantee that you will see changes within a week if you take my advice and put it into practice. He came to me dejected and said, "My grandchildren don't come into my room, and my son airs it out all the time, but for months." Let's listen to what James Parker, who is 75 years old, had to say about his situation. He felt a great deal of joy thereafter. Right now, his grandkids are climbing up on his lap. He said, "It's unbelievable." So, how did he manage to pull it off? By incorporating these routines into your life, beginning right now at home. To begin, drink water, and more water. After 50 years of study, I have come to the realization that one of the most overlooked aspects to minimizing unpleasant smells is maintaining enough hydration. At the beginning of the day, drink a glass of hot water. The elimination of pollutants via urine is accomplished by the use of warm water as an internal broom. For a considerable amount of time, it greatly lessens the distinctive stench that many individuals who are becoming older create. A 72-year-old woman named Margaret Adams stated that she had some reservations. In the morning, drinking only hot water is not going to do much benefit. However, after a month had passed, she saw significant changes. At this moment, I yearn for it. When I run out of anything, my grandkids tell me that I smell fantastic. Make it a goal to consume 6 glasses of water every day. Because she has problems remembering, I devised a straightforward schedule for her. 1 glass when she wakes up, 1 glass before lunch, 1 glass after lunch, 1 glass about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 glass before supper, and 1 glass before bed. And it brings the total to 6. Keep in mind that beverages like coffee or tea do not count. If you consume coffee, you should drink an additional glass of water since it has the potential to cause dehydration. Gentle strolls in the sun constitute the second phase. Some elderly folks have told me that working out is difficult, and I can understand their perspective. I'm not asking you to run a marathon. I'm simply asking you to take a stroll in the warm sun for a few minutes. Each day, a little over 20 minutes may accomplish wonders. While the sun helps destroy some of the germs that are on the skin, moderate exercise helps you sweat enough to get rid of some of the other toxins that are on your body. When the sun is not at its peak, such as before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m., plan your activities accordingly. One may see a significant improvement with just a small bit of fresh air and a moderate sun. 70-year-old Fred Taylor shared with me that in the beginning, he had a hard time walking. Currently, he goes for daily brief walks, breaths in fresh air, and his body odor has greatly diminished as a result of these changes. In a single day, he takes 3 steamy showers. A number of individuals will remark, "But I'm old, it's winter, I don't want to shower every day." It is true that washing your face on a regular basis is necessary since it eliminates deposits from the skin as well as the germs that are responsible for unpleasant odors. You should steer clear of water that is really hot. The natural defenses of the skin are destroyed by very hot water, which also has the potential to exacerbate smells. Warm water with a temperature between 38 and 40 degrees Celsius is ideal. Take a bath at a temperature of around 38 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes once a week. The pores are opened, deep filth is removed, and the skin is left feeling softer as a result. As a result of taking these weekly baths, my patients often report that they feel more refreshed from head to toe. You may decrease smells by 90% by rubbing these 3 locations. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about the 3 most important places that you need to clean. If you forget about them, you will eventually be left with the lingering fragrance of an elderly person. If you give them your whole attention, you will see a change in only a few days. The parts of the body that are prone to developing wrinkles include the neck, the armpits, the area under the breasts, the area around the navel, the groin, the area behind the knees, and the folds of the elbows. Pay attention to these areas. These very little sacs are a breeding ground for germs and perspiration. Many elderly people fail to pay attention to the back of their ears and the neck. When I was younger, Susan Brooks, who is now 66 years old, would tell me, "I used to shower, but I never cleaned those folds properly." I'm now being hugged by my grandson once again. Rub lightly with a gentle washcloth or loofah to remove the dirt. Take care not to be overly harsh, since this might potentially irritate your skin. This includes the scalp, the armpits, and other areas of the body, such as the chest and the stomach, for some males if they have hair in those areas. Both perspiration and oils are retained by the hair. It is thus important to massage your scalp thoroughly after you have washed your hair. According to Tom Harris, who is 62 years old, I began deeply massaging my scalp, and the smell that was emanating from my head vanished. Even now, my grandson affectionately strokes my head. The feet are often a source of both sweat and bacteria, especially when they are kept in socks and shoes all day long. If not cared for, this can lead to an unpleasant odor that fills not just your shoes, but your entire living space. For instance, John Miller, a 68-year-old man, noticed that his feet started to give off a strong, foul smell. He realized that the space between his toes was a problem area, which led him to begin a more focused cleaning routine. A good first step in managing foot odor is to wear socks made of cotton, which are breathable and help keep your feet dry. It's also important to replace them frequently, as they absorb moisture and bacteria. Giving your shoes a chance to air out is another key part of the solution, so remember to turn them upside down when you're not wearing them. If you struggle to reach certain areas of your feet, like the back of your heels or the bottom of your feet, consider using a long-handled brush to make cleaning easier. When showering, make sure you use warm water instead of hot, as hot water can irritate the skin and break down its natural protective barrier. Always opt for a mild soap that won't be too harsh on your skin. While heavily fragranced products may temporarily mask the smell, they don't actually address the root of the problem. Mary Johnson, at 71 years old, was amazed by how these simple changes worked for her. "I can't believe these minor adjustments have worked," she said, adding that now her grandson can sit on her lap again without complaining about any unpleasant smell. Diet plays a big role in how we smell, and making small changes to the foods you eat can have a noticeable impact. If you found these tips helpful so far, let us know by typing 2 in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to do so now, so more older adults can benefit from these ideas. Now, let's dive into how the foods we eat affect our body odor. Betty Carter, who was 66 at the time, once joked, "I love garlic. Is it going to make me smell?" While garlic does have a strong scent, it's not usually the main culprit behind long-term body odor. The real key lies in antioxidants. These nutrients slow down the aging process and as a result can help regulate body odor. Eating antioxidant-rich foods such as tomatoes, apples, strawberries, buckwheat, and brown rice can help improve your scent from the inside out. A good rule of thumb is to choose brightly colored foods, especially those that are red or purple, since they tend to be packed with antioxidants. In addition, incorporating more cucumbers into your diet can help flush toxins from your body. You can eat them raw or blend them into a refreshing smoothie. After Nancy Miller, at 68 years old, started regularly drinking cucumber and tomato smoothies, she noticed a big change. "They say my old lady smell is gone," she remarked. As we age, our saliva production tends to decrease, which can lead to bad breath. Brushing your teeth twice a day is important, but there's another step you shouldn't overlook: scraping your tongue. Your tongue can harbor bacteria, and a regular toothbrush might not be effective in cleaning it. Linda Parker, 73, initially didn't see the need for tongue scraping, but after a couple of weeks she noticed a significant improvement in her breath. Additionally, chewing sugar-free gum that contains xylitol after meals can help increase saliva flow and reduce bacteria in your mouth, which improves your breath. If you drink coffee or alcohol, you might want to reconsider their impact on your mouth's odor. Both coffee and alcohol can dry out your mouth, leading to bad breath. Alcohol, in particular, breaks down into a toxin called acetaldehyde, which is then excreted through your sweat. If you do drink coffee, try to limit it to 1 cup in the morning and drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated and counteract its drying effects. Another factor that can contribute to body odor is constipation. Have you ever thought about how it might affect the way you smell? When you're constipated, your body can reabsorb some of the toxins that should have been eliminated. These toxins can then escape through your pores, causing a stronger, more unpleasant odor. To help prevent this, it's important to increase your fiber intake. Foods like brown rice, oats, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables are all high in fiber and help your digestive system work more efficiently, making it easier for your body to get rid of waste. By focusing on these dietary changes, you'll not only improve your digestion but also reduce the impact of body odor.